Hey everybody, this is Ron K. Armstrong, filmmaker extraordinaire, and I'm here with the awesome and talented Wesley Griffin. Hey everybody, this is Ron K. Armstrong, filmmaker extraordinaire. And he's a voiceover, sorry, I got some feedback there, and he's a voiceover artist. And so Wes, can you say hey to the audience?
Hello audience, this is Wesley Griffin, the magic voice of Mr. Griff. Wes the Voice Griffin, how are you?
Oh man, we're getting some feedback here. Hold on.
Am I too close? Is my volume? Magic voice of Mr. Griff. Wes the Voice Griffin, how are you?
Oh man, we're getting some feedback here. So hold on one second. Let me see if I can deal with this feedback.
You think is it on my end or your end?
Let me see. Give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can deal with this feedback. Give me 1 second.
Yep.
1 second. Cool.
Can you still hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I had the mic and my speakers, so I undid one of them. I don't know.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Cool. Cool. I think we're in business now. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
All right, awesome, awesome. So, hey, man, I got a chance to check out some of your work online. I loved it, and I thought it was like awesome. And I wanted to kind of get you on here to do an interview and kind of like to introduce you to my audience and the world, because I think you're super talented, and I'm just wondering how come you haven't made a big splash yet. So, yeah. So the first thing I wanted to ask you was originally when I saw you, you had did a series of videos talking about putting a production company together with spec scripts. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I did a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of that. That would be part of the later part of once I get established. But it was called. Hopefully it still will be called the Griffin Entertainment Group. And I think it was talking about the Oscars and how there's not enough, not always the black talent, but there's not enough black, such as writers and producers and screenwriters and whatnot. And I was saying that would be a way to get more products with people of color in them, is to get behind the screens. And I just had this pipe dream that I would have an agency that I would kind of be like a guy that goes to the studios and goes, hey, why didn't this person of color get hired for it? What can we do to fix it? And then I would go back to my agency and say, look guys, this is what you need to do to up your profile, to be wanted, to be chosen every time. And I think a lot of it has to do with press junkets. I've been studying entertainment for a long time, and I noticed a lot of times the people who are the most famous, they go on the international press junkets, and you know they squeeze the palms and press the flesh and smile and grin and take in the culture and whatnot. And I don't know these things for certain, but I have a gut feeling that a lot of black performers, once they get that check, they're kind of gone to the next thing. But you kind of have to do that press junket. That's how you get more known in all of the foreign markets, because that's where the money is most of the time for films, is the foreign market. So I would have this studio, I would have this agency go to the studios and go back to the people who signed with me, like, look, this is what you need to do to get better chosen. So that's the dream, like the tail end of the dream. Now,
was this directly in response to I think it was 2016 Oscars, was it, that they had no
it was a couple of them in a row, man. It was like 2 or 3 years in a row, and I was like, look, this is what we need to do. We have lots of black actors and actresses, you know, but we need people behind the scenes. The movies start with a writer. Writer creates the characters. So if you had a black writer, she would be able to put more of a viewpoint or perspective from their point of view that could then make it to the screen. Hopefully, the studios didn't shut it down. But yeah, it came from all the Oscars, so white kind of stuff going on.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: what would you consider yourself? Are you voiceover? Are you screenwriter? Are you director, producer?
I started out in high school. I've written 2 unpublished novels. That was back in high school, back in like 96, 95. But I write novels, so I'm hesitant, scared, nervous to try to writing novels and writing screenplays are two different animals. Like 10 pages of a novel, it has to be condensed down to 2 pages of a screenplay. And I have books on screenplays like Sling Blade and whatnot, and Pulp Fiction, but I haven't mastered it, and I haven't had a lot of time to master it because now I'm a grown up and I have a family, and I have bills, and I have the military, so I have the time to just kind of sit down and hey, how do I chop up my novel into screenplay form? But I consider myself a writer. That's kind of been on the back burner due to writer's block. But voiceover is the main. I want to be an actor too, but voiceover is the main focus right now because that seems like that's what I can do the most with the time that I have.
That's great. Did you ever see that film? I saw it not too long ago called In a World, which is about voiceovers.
It's funny you should mention that. In a World. Actually, that guy, Don LaFontaine, he died a couple of years ago, but I knew who he was way before that. And I think that film was about his daughter doing the voice or trying to step into his shoes, being a voiceover actress. But yeah, Don LaFontaine is someone I patterned my voiceover voice after, actually, because he's the voice I always heard when I was growing up in movie trailers. And I knew who he was. I think he had some progressive videos towards the end of his career with Flow or something. And then people knew his name, but I knew his name long before that. But yeah, he's kind of an inspiration, Don LaFontaine. Yep.
Yeah, for those who haven't seen the movie, it's a good movie. You should check it out. I think it's on Netflix. But let me ask you this: are there many African American voiceover artists?
Yes, I was just on Facebook because someone posted something, and I kind of need to steal his job. But Keith David, he was the voice in Gargoyles, the cartoon way back in the day. And I think he was the head gargoyle. I forgot his name. I think it was Goliath. But he was the main dude. Also, Cree Summer was, and I didn't know this at the time, Cree Summer, Freddy from A Different World, was actually Penny from Inspector Gadget. There was a white girl in.
Oh, no way. Oh, cool.
And I was like, I learned it years later, and I was like, what? Penny was the black girl? That was Cree Summer from Different World? So Cree Summer's been doing voiceover for a while. Keith David with the Gargoyles, and he also does the Navy commercials, which is, I need to steal that job from him because I'm an actual Navy sailor and I do voiceover. So I'm trying to work my way up to contacting him and be like, hey, can I take that job from you? I'm an actual sailor and do voiceover. We'll see how it goes.
Wait, did Keith Davis do Spawn?
The animated version?
Yeah.
He may have done Spawn as well.
What's the Spawn? I thought,
he might have been.
Which is a good animated series. They should bring that back or reboot it or something.
Yes, sir.
Well, you know what? But you also do characters, really good characters too, as well, right?
I do a couple of characters with some. I can do a couple of accents, and actually, I've done a couple where they were all talking together, which is hard to do when you only have one cameraman. But I do the Englishman. I do the Black Russian. I do the Scotsman, and I do Shalakishvali, the Black Indian, Black American Indian.
IT guy, huh?
Yes, my friend. He's an IT guy. So Shalakishvali, he was like my fourth character I made, I think, and I did a series of things where he was, of course, help desk tech support, and he talked on the phone, and people always thought he was a terrorist because his name was Shalakishvali, but he was not Middle Eastern, he was Indian, and he couldn't make his quota, so he had to quit that job. So that's kind of where I left off on that particular character. And then the Great Scotsman, he was called the Not So Great Scot, and I had to actually talk to a person and be like, is it Scottish or Irish? But they told me it was Scottish, more like Shrek than anything. So the Scotsman was, he dealt in arms, weapons, and he was always dealing with the Russian, and he was trying to get guns from the Russian. So I took that about as far as I could take it, the Scotsman. And then he was the third character. The second character was the Black Russian, and the Black Russian I'm trying to bring back slowly because in the times of Trump and American elections, I think the Black Russian can really figure in there, and I'm trying to bring him back. He would drink Stoli. I have a Stolichnaya bottle somewhere around here, and I put him to drink it and be drunk and just blather on about nothing. But he was an arms dealer, and he dealt the Scotsman, and he was always see how they kind of blend together. But
Yeah.
that's the Black Russian. And then the first character I did was it was an Englishman, and at first I called him the Welshman because my name Griffin is Welsh, so I played off of that. However, when I spoke to some actual British people, they were like, "That's more British than Welsh," so I had to change the character to the Welshman to the Englishman. And what he does is rap song breakdowns. So he will take ratchet songs or classic songs, and he will try to break them down in his dry British humor. And, you know, he would replace curse words with other little stupid words. But he was the first character I did, the Englishman.
Wow, that's
So
awesome. Now, what is this for someone? One-man stand-up show or something, or?
See, I don't think I'm a comedian. Like, walked into a bar, being a priest or rabbi, and you know, whatever. I'm more of a sketch comedy guy. So I would probably need to do like a Mad TV SNL type of deal going on. I don't think I could just do stand up. Some people said I could. Everyone tells me, why don't you try out for stand up? I'm like, I need people to bounce off of to be funny. To myself, other people have said you can do it, you can do those characters, but I don't know. I'm just working up my nerve to finally go to, you know.
Well, you know, a lot of the actors or the comedians on SNL got their start in stand up.
True. Yes, I know. I'm aware. Yeah, I'm aware. I'm just scared. I'm nervous, like every other person who has put themselves out there and thinks, I don't know if I'm that funny, but everyone tells you, you know, you're kind of funny. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I think you could totally do it if you just like extend the material. I think it would be like it would be very interesting, creative, and just entertaining to watch. I think it would be awesome, especially like having them talk to each other, have a conversation, and then in these you can create different scenarios. I think that would be awesome.
That's one of the things I'm trying to play with recently here. I can do Bernie Mac and I can do Jerry Seinfeld. So I was toying with the idea that Jerry and Bernie could be having conversations. So we'll see how that goes. Really trying to do Bernie Mac. That's what I'm trying to do, baby. I'm trying to do Bernie Mac, and I'm trying to honor the man. He was a late, great legend. I'm going to bust him in the head to the white meat show, and I'm just trying to do it, baby. You know what I'm saying? You got Jerry Seinfeld, and he'll be talking to Bernie Mac, and they'd be going back and forth with each other's perspective, the black perspective and the Jewish perspective, or the white perspective. Shut up, Jerry. Say, you gotta stop it. Come on, Bernie. So, you know, I'm thinking about doing something like that. So we'll see. Cool.
Now you do also a great Optimus Prime, right?
Yes, I do a pretty good Optimus Prime and a Batman as well. People of Earth, this is Optimus Prime. The Autobots and the Decepticons will be fighting for the future of your planet. So that voice actor, Peter Cullen, he's been around for a while, and yeah, I do a pretty, if I don't say so myself, I do a pretty good Optimus Prime. Yes.
That's great. And now I hear you're trying to take Bat Dad's place or steal some of his shine.
I'm not trying to, there's no way I could ever take it, but he puts on the mask, and he kind of, when he does it, it sounds like he's doing Christian Bale, which was the worst Batman's voice to me, because he just tried to do it so much. And that's what the Bat Dad sounds like. And I'm like, I'm actually trying to do Batman the Animated Series. The voice actor, his name was Kevin Conroy. And I'm trying to do that character kind of Batman voice doing Disney jingles or hooks. So it's like, this is Batman, and I'm doing the Disney Little Mermaid, you know, and I'll do a hook from the Little Mermaid, like, I can show you the world, a whole new world, you know, something like that, and just do the little hook from, you know, the main song. So
yeah,
yes, trying to do Batman and hoping people like it. So yeah.
Which is your favorite Batman?
Of the live action, I like Keaton. He's my favorite. I mean, but Ben Affleck did very well in Batman vs Superman, but Keaton's, you know, he's the first that I knew. I know a lot of people came for like the late departed Adam West. I know he did it in the 60s and 70s on TV, but I wasn't around for that. And so Keaton is my first Batman, and that's who I pretty much stick with.
You know, it's funny because I asked a lot of people that question, and most of them said Keaton. You know, it's very interesting. I thought they would say Bale. You know,
Bale sucked, dude. I did not like Christian Bale as Batman. I didn't.
Yeah, yeah. But what do you think of what's his name in Batman versus Superman?
Affleck.
Yeah.
He did well. He did a good Batman, but I wasn't too convinced on his Bruce Wayne, which is, I don't know if that's odd or not. But I gave him a lot of crap. I don't know if you can curse on your show.
Yeah.
I gave him a lot of crap. I gave Ben Affleck a lot of shit before he got casted, because I was just like, he's kind of wooden.
Yeah.
Kind of one note. But if you're Batman kicking ass, that kind of works. And it did work in the movie. But when he was Bruce Wayne, I was like, there's that woodenness. It's okay when you're playing Batman behind the mask. That's fine, but I didn't like his Bruce Wayne. But Batfleck did fine as Batman, so he's okay.
I actually hated Val Kilmer.
Yeah, him and Clooney.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Clooney were. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. That was Joel Schumacher had the series, and he destroyed it for a while.
Yeah, and you know what? You do really good work when you're telling the story, like in a trailer. I've seen some of your stuff. It's really good. It's like it really immerses me into the trailer, and I think that's something you want to focus on, or.
Oh yeah, movie trailer stuff. Usually when I'm on Instagram and on Twitter, and when I do, I call it movie trailer voice. And again, patterning after Don LaFontaine, I'll be like, Tom Cruise stars in The Mummy. Universal Pictures presents. So yeah, I definitely one day want to be that voice you hear in the movie theaters and on TV talking about movies. That's my bread and butter. That's what I'm hoping people hear. This dude that sounds like Don LaFontaine. They're like, damn, dude. I'm like, yeah, hire me. So.
But here's the scary part, though. Let me ask you this: is this a dying thing now? Because I'm not hearing a lot of the voiceovers for trailers anymore. I mean, they're there, but not as much.
Yeah, that is true. There's a lot of they just put what is it? Overlays, title overlays on the trailers, but you don't really hear anything. It's out there doing it, but after Don LaFontaine, I don't know really who they are. I think John Bailey is one of the up and comers, but I don't know a lot of the other newer guys that are doing trailers. So yeah, I don't know, man.
But one thing I think really can work for you and can help to make a big comeback for this, if you were to start doing indie films, and I don't mean like micro budget indie films, I'm talking about $1 million up, maybe $1 million, 10 million. I think if you were to start working in that arena, I think it could really make a difference, because your voice, to be honest with you, is very professional. You know what I mean? And I think that if you were to get a number of gigs like that, that could really springboard you into the higher budget films and make that comeback for the voiceover.
I agree, which is the next step, is the hardest step. I do a lot of self-promotion, business cards. I have a magnet on my car, and I go to Facebook, and there's a lot of voiceover groups that I go to and audition for and stuff. But the thing to get me to that next level is to get a professional level demo, which voiceover demo costs like $2,000, and then I need to get represented by an agent or agency. That's the next step to the next level, to the next echelon, and that's where you would start hearing me in those circles you're talking about of commercials and movies and whatnot. So I'm just trying to break in, and it's slow going.
Have you ever thought about this? Because usually what I do is I talk to people about, like I call it my ninja techniques, ways that you can break into the industry that are not traditional. And some of the filmmakers that I've worked with, I'm not going to go into like name dropping and all that, but the way they got famous is they broke in using very like non-conventional means. Trey Parker and those guys. I was working, not directly with Trey Parker, but I was working in the same studio he was in. And I remember when he was pitching his stuff, and they would come and talk to me about like, oh, Trey's doing this and it's really like different. And lo and behold, he got a deal with Comedy Central. And I was like, wow, that worked, And then I don't know if you know, but I worked with James Gunn, who did Guardians of the Galaxy. He worked with me on my first feature film, Bugged. And James and I were cool. We were hanging out in Hell's Kitchen in New York. And he was helping to do the movies. And I did a short film that James directed
Oh,
which I still have. But James, you know, he was working and he was writing. James was a really good writer. And I think that's really what got him into the business. So my point is like, I think that, I don't know if you could take like a film and do voiceover and then send it to the director. Like after the film is shot, and then get a hold of the film, do a voiceover for the trailer or whatever, and send it to the filmmaker. And because I think if they get it, I think they will like it, you know, and then they can campaign for you, because it is, you know, studios do make films, so the studio does have a lot of power and say so as to what happens.
Yeah.
But the filmmaker can, you know, campaign for you. So I was just thinking, if you ever thought about doing something like that.
I try to use social media that way. I'll do one of my little movie trailer voices, and I subscribe to them or follow them on Twitter, whatever, and I you know, upload what I did to their Twitter feed or whatever. You know, if you like what I did, please you know, retweet it or what have you. And I've had some success. Off the top of my head, I can't remember who it was, but like 1 or 2 people, they actually retweeted it, but it didn't gain much traction. But I know, yeah, that's one way to do it, is to kind of make a parody of a trailer or something, and then send it to the people like, yeah, do you like this? If so, retweet it. So it's still slow going.
Yeah, because one thing, you know, I study a lot about the people who've made it big and got a lot of success. And a lot of people that made it big, I knew them, but never ever did I think that they would blow up like that. If I did, I probably would have stuck with them, you know. But the thing that I found is that it only takes one opportunity to get you there, because once you get that one opportunity, it's like you build the momentum and it keeps going. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think it's like, if you just need that one opportunity, because I think the reason why I'm saying this is because I've seen so many people with not a lot of talent, and they're trying hard, they're getting nowhere, or some of them are getting somewhere. And I'm thinking, well, if they're getting these opportunities, what would happen if they actually really had talent, you know? So I'm looking at you and I'm saying, all you need is like one person. Because I think after that, your talent will speak for itself, and it will sell you.
Yeah. I just need to get that foot in the door, and then I can shove my way in.
Yeah. The ball will start rolling in that effect. And the interesting thing about what I loved about that movie, In a World, because at the very end, I'm not going to give away anything.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. But it showed you how political the movie industry, and even that industry, voiceovers, can be, you know? And they kind of make a statement toward the end of the film. And I thought that was very interesting, because that's how I feel that the industry is overall. It can be very political, you know? Like I feel the Oscars are very political. I don't believe that the Oscars are awarded to the best films, the best talent. I believe it's whatever Hollywood's agenda they want to push is who they give the Oscars to, you know?
Yeah.
But I do believe that, you know, I see a lot of people in this industry who don't have talent, and I just say keep working at it. But I do believe that if you're a hard worker and you have the talent, I think that's a really good combination. I think that can take you a long way, you know.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I might be getting close. Recently did a project. It's my first narration, and hopefully that'll open some more doors for me. It's about the guy who did the Super Soakers.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of like for what have you. So hopefully that'll open some doors.
That's funny you mentioned that, because I just was reading about that. He won the lawsuit, so they owe him a bunch of money.
Sure.
So yeah, he was in court for a while on that. So, you're working on that project? That's great.
Yeah. So hopefully that pans out. I just finish that up and send it into the guy, and he sends it to the publisher, and let's see if they like it. And then maybe by the end of July, it'll actually be out there. So
that's awesome, man. It's awesome.
It's my first audiobook, and it was really taxing. I don't have a professional studio. I'm just in my little apartment in my closet with some noise reduction foam and my little microphone and my little recording program. And it's hot in there because you can't have any sound when you're recording. So it's really, in the summertime, it's 100 degrees outside in SoCal. and I'm burning up in this closet with just a bottle of water. But it took me like 2 hours to record like 9 minutes and 45 seconds of audio. I was like, Jesus.
Wow, wow.
Like, this is my first one. I was like, that was hard, dude. And it was only like 30 slides. I was like, wow.
Oh, wow. I know when I'm you're always doing like a Foley work, and that's a process I never look forward to. You know?
Yeah, I know. I was an extra in the early 2000s before I went into the military. I was in Remember the Titans and Road Trip. Of course, you gotta like do the slow-mo pause if you want to try and see me. Maybe not in Road Trip, you can definitely see me, but in Remember the Titans, you got to do some slow-mo pausing to see me. But I was just an extra, and I remember all the time it took for setups. We were there for like 12 hours, and most of the time us extras were just sitting around falling asleep because they were taking so long setting up, the scenes and whatnot. So, yeah.
Yeah. How are you balancing the military life with your creative aspirations?
Oh, man. I mean, I did 14 years active in the Navy. Now I'm in the reserves. So right now I only do 1 week in a month for 2 days the weekend. And other than that, it's the job. I do security, and I have the Navy. And I was going to school. I got my bachelor's earlier this year in psychology. But thank you very much. So between the reserves, working the job, the family, and just being stressed out about money and being stressed out about not being as big as I should, because I know I have the talent. It's just I'm waiting for the world to say, hey, that guy's talented. I'm like, yeah, I tried to tell you that. So between all that, it's just it's a balancing act, and I get disillusioned and disenfranchised quite a bit, but then I'll get a job and I'll be like, oh, okay, I guess I'll still keep putting the best foot forward because someone's noticing and someone wants to use me and someone thinks my voice is worth paying for, so keep doing it, So you just got to keep plugging away. You got to keep grinding and hustling.
Every artist goes through that. There's going to be these periods where it just seems like you're not getting work. It all seems bleak, and then something will come along and get you inspired. You'll get a job, and then go back to you're not working again.
Yes.
And what I tell people is not to give up hope, but you have to learn to be self-motivated and not depend on something to make you excited or to keep you in the game. You know what I mean? Because, I was watching something, and it was an old film, a very old film. And you know who was in the film? It was it was an old comedy show called Night Court. And I'm a big Star Trek fan. And I saw Data was actually on the show. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know the actor's name, but I'm like, how long has this guy been in the business?
Yeah, Brent Spiner. Yeah,
that show was on when I was a kid, man. I liked that show.
Yeah, I remember Night Court.
Yeah. And he played one of the vendors at the cafeteria. He had a little food stand, and sometimes that makes you think when you look at the careers of like Sam Jackson and some of these other actors who've been in the business for years and only now are getting their due rewards or accolades for their work, and so keep it up. I mean, it could take some time, and I tell people that all the time. I said, you just never know. I mean, some people are fortunate to have things happen right away. For other people, it's a number of years and years. Who's the actor from Game of Thrones? The small guy.
Oh, I know his name. The dwarf dude.
Yeah.
Tyrion. I know his real name, but I can't think of it. Doggone it. He was in X-Men as the guy who brought the Sentinels on.
Yeah. Well, he gave a speech. It was a really nice motivational speech talking about when he got his first acting gig years ago. Ever since getting that first acting gig, he has never been unemployed. I'm like, lucky you. That doesn't happen to everybody. But his message was not to give up going,
His name's Peter Dinklage, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Something I've been hearing. I've been hearing it a lot here lately because everyone sees. I get my little Facebook posts. I'll put how disillusioned I am or whatever. But it takes the saying is, it takes 10 years to be an overnight success.
I like
You know,
that.
like rappers and whatnot, everyone's like, yeah, everyone thinks I just blew up, but I've been doing mixtapes, or I've been on the indie circuit for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and now you see me. This is my first big movie I'm blowing up in, but this is not the first movie I've been in. So yeah, it takes years to be an overnight success. So I guess that'll be my path.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I have a friend, right? We went to film school together. And I remember one year I said, I'm going to take this year off from filmmaking, right? This is at a point where I was in the business for at least 10 years, right? I did features, shorts, and all that. Do you know he literally went berserk? He was like, why are you not doing films? What's wrong with you? I said, the industry's still going to be there. I'm going to take a year off and, relax. I'm tired. Being a filmmaker is not like any other business, because most filmmakers are trying to raise money, using their own money. A lot of filmmakers could have had like a house, a car, married, or traveled. They don't do that because most of their money goes into their films, So I was trying to tell them, I said, I deserve a year off, for the industry. And I did. I only took a year off. But it's a struggle for every artist. I mean, I'll tell you, to be honest with you, the one thing that I think can help your situation, a lot of other people, is to know that you're not alone. Because I have actors, a lot of actresses that I've worked with, and I'll look at their Facebook posts, and these women are pouring their hearts and souls out, talking about the depression, the state that they're in, because they can't get work, and it's sad. And they vent on Facebook because they think they're the only ones that have that problem,
Yeah. We all do it. We all have need our outlet to vent. But yeah, we're not alone. We're creative people, artists, we're a different breed, because we have to take the defeat. We have to channel it. We have to mold it and keep going. And I guess that's true of life, period. But I think you would probably get a lot more ups than downs out of life than you would trying to be a creative person in life, because there's life and there's happiness. There's peaks and valleys, as they say, but there can be a lot of valleys in entertainment when you're trying to be a creative person. Yeah, more valleys than peaks.
Now let me ask you this. This is a bit controversial. You give me your take on this. I'm going to get into this, but from my experience, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I see a lot of African-American people who are in the music, who are in the film industry, want to be in front of the camera in the limelight. Your profession is more behind the camera.
Yeah.
So how does that are you okay with that? Or,
Well, myself personally, or how it is in the industry? Because
yourself personally, are you okay with just being behind the camera and having your?
No, I want to be an actor too.
Oh, you want to be an actor too? Okay.
I want to be an actor as well. I want to do both sides. I want to act. I want to write. And like I told you, I want my agency, hopefully someday, the Griffin Entertainment Group. I don't know if you remember Ari Gold from Entourage, Jeremy Piven. Do you remember Entourage?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be like that guy. Have my own not studio but agency. And so I want to be in front of the camera, acting, get a feel for the industry. Then I want to write, and then I want to be an agency where I can put other people. I want to put other people on. I don't, I like how you want to go into the controversialness of this, because it seems like to me that a lot of Black celebrities and luminaries, they're not putting enough of our own people on. We're like the only culture that, to me, in my opinion, can't speak for everyone else, but it seems like Black people are like the only people that don't put the rest of the people on, to keep paying it forward to the next person. It happens sometimes, like with Tyler Perry and whatnot, but that's a whole nother story, because I'm not a big TP fan because of the type of stuff he does that's Medea related, but that's a whole different story. But it just seems like there's not a lot of people of color paying it forward, so that further down the road, further down the generations, more people of color can be behind and in front of the camera and showcasing a better perception of us on screen and on TV and on the movies. You know what I'm saying?
I totally agree. But let me ask you this. So I think what I was trying to get at is, let's say you make it big, but as a voiceover artist, would you be happy?
I would be happy. I mean, I don't know how. I don't go to church, but I'm a spiritual person. I believe in a higher power. So for me, I think this is a God-given gift because everyone can't do it. Everyone can't do these voices. You know, everyone can't do accents. And they're like, how do you do it? I'm like, I don't know. It just comes naturally. I watch, you know, if I watch something for long enough, I will just automatically start speaking like that. Like I watched The Sopranos a whole season, and then I start talking like Tony Soprano. I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing it. It just happens. And you know, I'll go through the day talking like this, and my wife and kids are saying, "Shut up, stop talking that way." And I'm like, "No, I can't. You don't understand. I just watched 10 episodes of the freaking Sopranos. Now I'm gonna be talking like this for another hour or two. I can't shake it." And I love being other people. So when I watch something that's, I don't know, it's weird. It's like hardwired into me to be other people, to pretend to be other people, to entertain people. So I'm just waiting on my shot. But yeah, I would be happy if I just became a voiceover artist. But my dream, my goal is to be voiceover actor and an actor and a writer and have my agency. You know, I have big plans. They got to get started.
That's a lot. That's a lot on your plate to do all that.
It is.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know, a lot of people are multi-talented and everything like that. Yeah. So let me ask you this. Star Wars, The Force Awakens, did you like it?
I did. They pulled a bait and switch on us.
Yes.
But I was okay with it. You know, I was fine. I know some people have a real issue with that, but I was fine. It was okay to me. I mean, it was okay. It wasn't okay that they did it, but I understood why they did it, and it was fine. I like the movie, so I'm good with it.
Okay, so the reason why I'm bringing it up, because I kind of want to have that to be the segue into another discussion of the most famous voice ever, James Earl Jones, Darth Vader.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can do a Darth Vader. I can do James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, yeah, I can do. What is it? Now I'm trying to put myself on the spot, and I can't do it. But you know, he does CNN. He does a CNN thing too, right?
Oh yeah. He does that too.
CNN, most trusted name in news. Or Lion King. There's one particular line I like saying. Zazu, take Nala home. I have to discipline my son.
Yeah.
And
it's so interesting because, you know, it's like they used him for Rogue One, from what I understand.
Yeah, they did use his voice. Yeah.
And I could tell a little bit like his voice is kind of aged a little bit.
Yeah, you could hear it. I could hear it too. Yeah.
And it's kind of weird hearing that and then watching it. I went back and actually watched the original Star Wars. I could tell the difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I went over all of the actors who did Darth Vader's voice. And because I didn't realize at first, some of the animated shows, the Lucas ones produced, that they use a bunch of different actors for Darth Vader's voice. And the best is always James Earl Jones. You know, I can tell. But it was just very interesting. I found that, I don't know if you heard about how it happened, because when you watch the original Star Wars, I don't think he gets credit for that. And he talked about that he didn't want credit because he didn't think it was really, he did anything spectacular. But he kind of changed everything doing that voice.
I don't know. I feel a little bit opposite. I think that Darth Vader is more known for his voice than the actor who actually played him, David Prowse. No one, you know, unless you're a movie buff like me, no one knows David Prowse played the actual physical embodiment of Darth Vader. You just know the voice. The voice of Darth Vader was obviously James Earl Jones, and that's what people know. So to me, I think he is Darth Vader. I mean, I know David Prowse played him, but no one knows who David Prowse is. Darth Vader is James Earl Jones. So I don't know.
You know, David, from what I understand, David was very into the role and very proud of it. To get no credit, or not. I mean, not, you know, like no one really cares. You know.
Yeah. I don't know who. Yeah, like the animated stuff that comes on now, the Clone Wars and the one that Rebels. I don't know. Darth Vader was in Rebels, and I don't know who voiced him on the Star Wars Rebels show, come to think of it. But, you know, circle of life, everyone's going to die. And, you know, they're kind of talking about a Darth Vader solo movie. Like, so, you know.
Oh, I
could do this.
Did you hear the Han Solo movie? They fired the director.
Yeah, I heard that, man.
Kathleen Kennedy, she just said goodbye, and she.
And they don't like the actor. He needs acting lessons or something. He's not a good young. I don't know why they didn't go with the dude who played a young Harrison Ford in Age of Adeline. They got this other dude from that Coen Brothers movie, Hail Caesar. But
I'm not too familiar with him too. It's like
who?
That actor you're talking about.
Yeah, he's a newbie, but they're saying they're not happy with his acting style. So I don't know if they're gonna bring in an acting coach. I don't know, man. It's gonna part up the wheels that the Han Solo movies. So I don't know.
Well, and also too, I mean, I heard a lot of stuff that went on that just, you know, it seemed very slick what the director.
Yeah, they said they were trying to make Han Solo like Ace Ventura or something. So they was like, no, "You're not doing that, bro."
Yeah.
You're not doing that.
Going on. I mean, I'm siding with Kathleen. I mean, I think.
And they're bringing in Ron Howard, and you know, I like Ron Howard as much as the next guy, but I don't know if that material suits him, because when I think about the Han Solo film, it needs to be kind of fast and loose and tongue-in-cheek, kind of fun, kind of high-spirited. And when I think of Ron Howard, I don't think of fun and high-spirited. He's more drama. And I can't think of the last like really fun thing that Ron Howard did. So even though he's a great director, I don't know if this fits him well either. I'm sure he'll do okay, but I'm like, Ron Howard.
Yeah, I've given up on that, because, you know, I'm seeing things where they're picking directors that just make no sense. I'm like, you know, like, I don't think, and Ron Howard made a comment that a lot of people like came down on him, but I'm like, yeah, it wasn't too good a thing to say. He goes, "Oh yeah, this little opportunity came along." I'm like, little.
He's probably saying it because he's so successful. You know, he's
he doesn't. But you know, me, for example, I always thought that you get people who are fans.
Yeah, you would think
understood the material. You know.
Yeah, you would think.
I don't know how they pick. You know. Nepotism, whatever. I mean, I like Ron's films. I think his films are great. But I totally agree with you. I don't know if, you know, did you see the short, the Han Solo short, the fan made film?
No.
Oh, you got to check that out. It's really good. I'll send that to you. Okay. I forgot the name of it. I did a review on my channel of it, and I really liked it. And I actually showed it to some other people, and they enjoyed it as well. So, you know, like, I remember, like, there's another short that was made called, it was a Batman short where Batman fought Predator and all these Predator.
Bat in the Sun on YouTube.
Is on YouTube. And I thought, like, that director could really do a good Batman, but, you know, they picked these, I don't know. Like
the dude who's going to do the Batman, Matt Reeves, the guy they're picking, he did, like, he did the first two, or maybe he's done all of them. The Planet, the War of the Apes, the little trilogy that they're doing.
Yeah,
he's gonna do the solo film, The Batman, because Ben Affleck stepped down, which I don't know why he did that, because he has Oscars for writing. He was gonna direct The Batman. I think that would have been good, but he stepped down, I guess, because maybe Warner Brothers wanted too much influence. You know, I don't know. But they went with Matt Reeves, and I'm like, the guy who did War of the Planet of the Apes is going to do that. I mean, it could work, but he just seems like a nobody, you know? So I'm like,
And the thing is like, what surprises me is Affleck is really a good director.
He is, dude. Argo.
I never thought it. I said, whoa. You know, I've never liked him that much as an actor, but when I would see his films where he directed, I'm like, this guy's great, you know?
But yeah, he did Argo, and he did another one that was really good. Crap.
Was it The Town? What was it called? I forgot.
The Town. Yeah. Both of those were awesome. So I'm like, damn, okay, Affleck can direct, dude. So I don't know why they didn't give him the reins of Batman, dude. But
yeah, I mean, that's, to me, I'm like, listen, you could be secure, feel secure if he's directing it. At least, you know, it won't be bad. But did you like Superman versus Batman?
I did. I didn't mind it. It was a little too long, and I hated Jesse Eisenberg as Lex. Jesus Christ, I hated that dude. Anytime he was on the screen, I was just like, nails on chalkboard. Get this dude off the screen.
I think everybody did. He's like the Jar Jar Binks, you know.
He's like a human Jar Jar Binks. I was like, get this dude off the screen as Lex, or Lex Jr. as, you know, the people like take up for him. Like, no, he was playing Lex Jr. I don't care who he was playing. When he got on the screen, he was like trying to project the Joker or something, or the Riddler. I'm like, that doesn't fit with the character, and he's just not convincing as anything besides a blue parrot in Rio. You know, I hated.
Yeah, because you know what, the thing about Lex Luthor, right? And I don't want to go too far off with this, but Lex Luthor is the kind of like, he's demented, he's strategic, he's cunning.
Yeah.
That quiet type of devilishness. This guy was just going off at the mouth and quoting these weird things and seems erotic and has some type of psychosis or daddy issues. And I'm like, what is his character? You know?
Yeah. It was a little too long. They could have shaved off a good 30 minutes off Batman versus Superman, but I liked it though, because that's something you've been waiting to see for a while. Even if it didn't meet your expectations, everyone's wanted to see Batman, you know, go head to head with Superman. So I liked it.
When I was a kid, I saved up all my money to get the comic book. I said, I gotta get this guy. I wanted to know who's gonna win at the end, you know. But yeah. So hey, man, I think that, like, as I said before, I think your talent is awesome, and I think that where are you located, by the way?
I'm in Southern California. I'm about an hour north of San Diego. It's called Riverside, or the Inland Empire. It's Temecula and Marietta. So,
so you're close to the industry then.
I am, but I'm not. I'm like 90 minutes away. So I'm toying with the idea of trying to move closer, because if anyone liked my stuff, I know Hollywood, I know they'll be like, yeah, we like you. Can you be here in an hour or, 45 minutes? And I'm like, I'm kind of far away. I'm in this no man's land where I'm like 90 minutes away, and probably further away once I get into the city with the traffic. So I need to get closer, honestly. If I'm honest with myself, I need to get closer to Hollywood.
Now, is it true about the LA traffic? Is that bad out there? Do you know?
I wouldn't even know. I've only been in LA traffic like once or twice. I've been in California since 2012. That's when I came back from Japan, from the Navy. But I lived in Monterey. That was my last 3 years in the active duty military. Then I moved down here in SoCal in 2014. So I mostly keep to this area and down to San Diego because my Navy stuff's in San Diego. But I've only been to LA like once or twice, in that area once or twice, to try out for some stuff. And yeah, that traffic was not cool at all.
I think you should do that, because you know what? There is a lot of parties, a lot of networking going out there, and that'd be a great place. I mean, I got friends who all they do is, I call them socialites. They just go to the industry parties and go to the festivals, take pictures with the famous people. I'm like, but are you going to ever get work? But for you, it's good because you can pitch on the spot because they can hear your voice, versus these guys who are filmmakers who have to send a reel in and all that kind of stuff. But thanks for taking the time. I know it was a technical nightmare trying to get this together.
Hangouts, dude, it doesn't like my camera, so and Hangouts does not accept your camera.
It's appropriate, man, because it gives us an opportunity to focus on the voice. That's a great thing.
I have a face for radio.
So why don't you tell us where they can find your work, and if you have any websites, you want to plug that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on where am I doing? I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitter as Gryffindor, and that's not that's not the what is it, the Harry Potter. I kind of played off of that, but it's Griffin. Gryffindor, but it's literally DOOR. So I like using caps. A lot of people say that's yelling. That, to me, that's not yelling. Yelling is when you use exclamation points. But I write in caps a lot because I'm lazy, not because I'm angry. but you'll find a lot of my, if you Google Gryffindor, GRIFFINDOOR, or Gryffindor 88, you'll find me everywhere on the internet. Twitter, Gryffindor 88, Instagram, Gryffindor 88. On Facebook, I'm the magic voice of Mr. Griff. YouTube, if you Google West Griff, you'll find me, because I can't change it to Gryffindor for whatever reason. I was on Vine. I was doing pretty good. I had like 500,000 loops. I had like 500 followers, and then I got on that train late, and it ended, and I was like, damn it, because I was making some real progress there. So yeah, but I'm on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, West Gryffindor 88. You look me up, you'll find me doing voices.
Awesome. For some reason, when I was thinking about you, every time I think of your name, I think of Wesley Crusher. You know.
And I get when I get in arguments with people on the Facebook and they want to like clown me with a meme, it's always Wesley Crusher from Star Trek Boom, instead of Geek Fail. But yeah, Wesley Crusher. And
for those watching, I will put his links in the description box so you can reference those. And if you like this video, like it down below and subscribe to the channel. And I want to thank you, Wesley Griffin, voiceover actor, writer, multi-talented. You guys check his work out. He's awesome. If you're shooting a film, definitely look him up. Yeah, he'll do an awesome job for you. So thanks, man. I really appreciate you joining me.
Mr. Armstrong, thank you for putting me on. Thank you for giving me a chance to put my voice and my name and my brand out there. I appreciate it. Everyone else, yes, I'm available for booking. And in a world, if you need Wesley Griffin for any kind of voiceover, for any project, I'm here. So yeah, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.